In today's video, I am going to be breaking down Isaiah Evans and his basketball shooting form. His ability to shoot the ball from distance, being such a tall and athletic player himself, is absolutely amazing, and that's what sets him apart from a lot of other players. He is one of the top ranked high school players in the United States, so let's get down, let's check out his basketball shooting form, and of course, some of the tips that he has that will allow you to shoot the ball better. If you want me to analyze your basketball shooting form, make sure to go check out the link that is down in the description below. And if you like the idea of this app, it's called Coach Lens. It's down in the description too. Okay, so a few of the things that we notice, or I notice when it comes to his shooting form, is when we're looking at it right here. I know this is going really quick and it's very jittery, but when he was going down into his shooting form or into his stance, he was lifting the ball. This is actually a mistake that a lot of players make, and we can see that right here. He starts down, he dips, and then he's still on his way down when he was lifting the ball. However, now he's on his way up into his release, and the ball is still moving on its way up. The reason why I mention this is because you want a one motion all the way up into your shot. You want everything to be fluid. You want the ball to be moving up while your body is moving up. This is very important because this is going to allow you to have more power on your shot. We also see that he's got his shoulders in line with his heels. He's not very balanced with his shot. However, we do notice that he makes a high percentage of his threes. Going up into his shot, we notice that his shoulder and elbow are in line with the rim, and that ball on other angles that we will see later is over top of his upper arm, which creates that shooting triangle. As long as this ball, at least a quarter of it, is over top of your upper arm and your elbow and shoulder is pointing towards the rim, you're going to have a straight shot. Then it just comes down to your power. All of your power should be coming from your lower back, your quads, your legs, your calves, and then your springiness up off the ground is going to be your Achilles. That's why you want to be on your toes. And we can see from here he has a pretty fluid shot. He does freeze momentarily above his forehead, so while this may look like a one motion shot, it's closer to a two motion shot. However, that is expected with somebody with longer arms, as he has. I also noticed that he doesn't have a ton of gap between his palm and the ball. It's hard to see from most angles. However, there is something odd when it comes to his release, and we're going to be breaking that down in a bit. However, I do like the fact that he's straight up and that his feet somewhat flow forward. This is important. You want your body to be fully extended because that engages the lower back, which will get you higher up into your jump. With the feet slowly or gradually flowing forward and your shoulders flowing back, this is going to allow you to have more power. This is a tip that a lot of NBA players use to be able to shoot from distance. And we can see that he has a high arc, and he actually gets a ton of spin. He actually gets some backspin on that. So if we look through this, that's one full rotation, that's two full rotations, and then he gets around a half. So 2.5, maybe 3 rotations of that ball before it hits the rim. This is very important because the more that basketball has backspin, the softer it's going to hit that rim. Also, if we back this up just a bit and we measure the angle of descent on this ball, it's roughly 42 degrees. The reason why this is important, and I've mentioned this in other videos, you want to be somewhere between 41 to about 44 to 45 degrees. This is going to be the optimal drop on the ball. If you come in too steep, if it's got too high of an arc and it hits the rim, it's going to bounce out. If it's too shallow, the rim looks way too small, and you've got a high probability of it again bouncing out. If you are between these degrees on the drop of the ball, that is going to allow you to have the higher, most probable chance of that ball going in the rim if it hits the rim. So when it comes to the drop on the ball, he is perfect. And then also going towards this left side, he plants his right foot, which is very good, plants his left foot after, which is good because that will allow him to get his right side in line with the basket. And then he's able to turn his body so that his elbow and shoulder again are straight towards the rim. This is so important And many players don't do this. They'll have their elbow flared out and they wonder why their basketball goes to the left. Having your elbow and shoulder in line with the rim is super important. You don't need to have your shoulders square to the rim. Everyone, almost everybody, unless your name is Klay Thompson, has a slight tilt to their shot. Older school coaches will say you need to be square, need to be square, need to be square right towards the basket. That's not necessarily true, especially if you've got longer arms. It's sometimes hard to get that elbow in, so you need to tilt your body away. And again, this ball does go in, but you're going to notice that he has this odd side flick. And there's quite a few players who have side flick. Myself, once in a while, has side flick too. Now, there's a reason why this happens. There's actually a very big major reason why this happens. And we can see that he's got a little bit of side spin on that ball just slightly. And that's exactly what you see why right here. So, going up into his shot, his hand placement is perfect. Guide hand is on the side of the ball. Hand is under the ball. He probably has some wrinkles in his wrist, which it's an old saying, you want to have wrinkles in your wrist when you're shooting because that loads the wrist. He has a little bit more than 90-degree bend on his elbow, which will give him a little bit more power. However, right here, this is why he's got a side flick right here. And this can lead to a lower percentage. He could actually shoot at a higher percentage if he was to fix this. And we can really see the pronounced side flick right here. And he doesn't even fix it. Some players will actually have it fixed, those side flick, and then move their wrist forward. We can see that he's got just slight side spin on this shot as well. And I'm going to tell you why right here. This is a very big major reason why. His hand placement on the ball is too far to this side of the ball. His hand placement needs to be more towards that left side or to his right side. If he was to have his hand placement more over here, right here, this would allow him to not have that side flick. Because what a side flick tells me as a coach is right here. He's releasing the ball with his middle and ring finger. He's not releasing it how you should be, or theoretically should be, with his middle and pointer finger. This is because the ball is too far over in his hand. If this ball instead was just slightly over this way, so that his middle finger was not on this side of the ball, but instead on this side of the ball, he would right away fix that side flick. He would also have less side spin on the ball, and he would also probably raise his shooting percentage by about 5 to maybe 8%. So that would be one thing that I would definitely fix in his shot. However, he does make a ton of his shots. So while my biggest saying is don't fix anything that isn't broken, you really shouldn't be fixing your shot if it's not broken. But let's say you're shooting under 35% from the three-point line in game. Maybe try moving that hand just slightly over and then trying 100 shots and seeing if you can raise that shooting percentage. And if you do, guess what? You just fixed your shot and you didn't have to do anything major. Moving your hand from here to here is not going to change anything, and it's probably going to feel much better. I hope that this video has helped you. If it has, hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time.